All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm Ethan Bianchi, and I'm here today with a very special guest. He's the McClatchy men's varsity basketball coach and also my coach. And he also is the teacher of the basketball class here at McClatchy. Coach Antawn, Greer, everybody. Welcome on, Coach.
Good to be here.
Normally, I start out by asking, how you've been and how your family's been during the quarantine, but, so you're a new father. What has that been like for you?
Oh man! So of course, as we all know, we're dealing with COVID, right? And we're dealing with all sorts of other issues in the country. So if you combine all those things and then put fatherhood, first-time fatherhood, and it's been, we'll call it interesting. It's been, being kind of locked up with an infant and a newborn, and just trying to navigate through all these new changes has been a challenge, but we're definitely making it through, one day at a time, consistent with loss of sleep, consistent with just patience and diapers, and just trying to keep this new ball of life safe from the COVID-19 situation. She's about 6 weeks and 6 months. So she's just about 7 months now. And, she has a couple of new teeth coming in. So that's new. She's just starting to crawl now. But the only people she's really, has really seen since birth has been her doctor. We have our visits that we have to do periodically. So to answer your question, it's been a roller coaster, but it's an experience like no other fatherhood. I love it. She's great.
It's good to hear you're enjoying it so far. Do you feel like you have to be more or less patient with her than you are with us at the team?
Oh, the players?
Yeah.
Man, let me start by saying this. I miss you guys, man. So last season and even seasons prior to that, I'm a full-time teacher. When I say full-time, it may be more so full-time than other teachers, because I actually have 6 classes where other teachers have 5 and they have a prep.
You don't have a prep.
I haven't had a prep for a few years now. And so adding that with being the varsity coach and trying to maneuver with, running a program that has both varsity, JV, and freshmen, it was busy back then. And so you would think that my patience would be a little lower. I miss you guys. I really wish that I was really looking forward to summer basketball and going to Johnson and their league and Jessup and all that. It's just been kind of the way, and to not have that, and then of course there's the patience with the baby, but that's just different. It's just a different type of, the baby doesn't know any better, right? The baby starts crying, doesn't allow for much sleep, but you can't hold it against the baby, right? So it's a different level. I thought we did some great things on the team last year, and it was a great process, and just really looking forward to, if we can safely do it this year, this season, then that'd be great. That'd be great by me.
Yeah, I was going to ask about, obviously last year we had a pretty solid season. We have the young core of the juniors this year, some of the guys from JV moving up. What are your hopes for the future, for the team, for the program, all that?
My hopes is that we continue getting better. As you know, and most know, we just in the league, we came up by the numbers probably a game short of getting into the playoffs. And of course, that makes you think about some of the games that we kind of weren't up on our game.
Yeah, it was the close ones.
Yeah, and so that kind of bites a little bit when you think about it. But I'm really looking forward to, especially if we can get going this season. Looking forward to a lot of returners, of course, and then maybe some help from the JV guys coming up. I think we have some talent that is ready to try to make a run for playoffs. We were sitting right there in the middle, right underneath Grant and Burbank, and Monterey Trail, and then right above Laguna Creek, Kennedy, and River City. So we're right there in the middle, and it'd be nice for us to be able to make a move this year and see if we can get to first round of playoffs. It's been a while. It's been a long while since McClatchy Boys has been to the playoffs. So, yeah.
Hopefully. Going off of that a little bit, like last season we swept Kennedy. We beat them at home. We beat them away. I think that was the first time we'd done it since you came in as coach. What was that like for you, just being able to beat this rival?
It was, man, and they had a pretty solid squad. They had some youth, they had some shooters, they had a lot of athletic ability that were seniors, right? They graduated last year. And so, but I think we just kind of stuck to the game plan with kind of knowing their threats. Mm-hmm. Of course, that first game at home that we kind of squeaked by, it was a combination of us doing a lot of good things and them kind of not doing what they normally do, right? Mm-hmm. A couple of missed free throws at the end of the game, it all worked out into a W on our part. And then the second game, I think we won by about 6 or 7 points.
Yeah.
I think we did some good things. I think we did a lot of good things that game. We had a lot of, I was mostly impressed about the way we responded during certain times, because there's some times where we kind of, in basketball is a game of runs, right? But mm-hmm. There were some times where they would go on a, 4, 5, 6, 7 point run. And with the team being so young, I was really impressed with the way we responded, and we kind of stayed within, and we didn't get too far back by like 10, 11, 12, 13 points, because that's usually where teams either fight back or they just give up and shut down, start blaming each other. And so you guys stayed as a team and made your free throws that game. It was a good thing. So anytime we're able to sweep it, I almost feel bad. This is my green screen. They're talking about Kennedy, and I got green behind me. Oh my. But we'll let that one go this time. Yeah. But yeah, it's anytime we could beat a rival. It's a great thing. We swept them. That was the first time. Let's see, that was my 4th year as a head coach, and I was Jeff's assistant coach for roughly 6-7 years. That was the first time in, roughly 11 years or so that we had ever swept Kennedy mm-hmm. in a season. So it's a good thing. Felt good.
Going off of Coach Oda a little bit, so you coached under Coach Oda, and now you guys are coaching together off of last season, and just coming into a program that we have a lot of these legendary coaches like Oda and Tahara and stuff. What is it like for you being the next man in the line and just continuing this program?
Well, Tahara was, from what I hear, and he coached prior to when I had even gotten to McClatchy either to teach or coach. But his records and his playoff runs, you see him in the gym, and he was a great coach. I've met him, of course, and great guy. But he's just, I've just always heard that he's very, he's a very disciplined coach, and that's something that I aspire to get to. You got to find, especially nowadays, basketball and players are a little bit different. Mm-hmm. You have to find that middle ground of not being too hard and but then you have to be, you have to find that middle ground. You have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined to beat some of these better teams that are more athletic and bigger and more talented. Sometimes you have to be disciplined. That's how you beat those teams. But at the same time, you don't want to be that coach that's just constantly on you and just kind of breaking you down. So it's an art to it. And I'm trying to find, I'm always constantly trying to grow. And that's a goal of mine, trying to find that happy median of being able to be not necessarily that player's coach, but that coach that's able to tell you when you're wrong, right, for the sake of the team and the progression of the team, but then also being able to build you up at all times so that you have more confidence in yourself. Because you have more confidence in yourself, it betters the team. We better the team. We move together as a group, one unit. So, and then of course, Jeff goes without saying. Asked him to help me out, because he is just, I call him the guru of basketball. Like he knows, I'm always trying to pick his brain. He knows a lot of knowledge about the game, and so he was a huge help last season. Hopefully we can get him back. I'm sure he'll be back to help out.
Yeah.
But just always trying to pick his brain. Always on the phone with him. Always. My wife and I, after some games, we go out and have have dinner after games. We went and had dinner each time that we beat Kennedy. Just always trying to pick his brain. So he's a blessing to have around.
So going back to the Kennedy game for a minute, and just like some of the other close games that we pulled out at home where it's like down to the wire, what can you say about the atmosphere of our home gym, of like having all these banners on the walls? Some of those games were like the Legion showing out and it's just loud and packed in, and like, what is that atmosphere like for you as a coach?
The atmosphere, it's something that I've never experienced as a coach, obviously, right? But the long-standing rivalry between Kennedy and McClatchy is it's kind of different than what I've seen at maybe other schools, because so many of you guys, McClatchy students and Kennedy students, so many of you guys have gone to the same middle school. Mm-hmm. And so I've experienced seeing some of you guys prior to a game, you guys are like high-fiving and everything, and just because you guys all went to the Sutters and the Cows and the all those schools, the Sam Brannons, and so I don't really see it as like a gut-wrenching, like hatred type rivalry. It's almost it's I think it's healthy. At least that's what I've seen in the past few years. It's a pretty healthy thing. After the games, there isn't a bunch of snarling and everything. And so I think it's a pretty healthy rivalry. As far as the atmosphere, I think it's awesome. I can only think of the thing that really stands out is after we took these wins this year, swept them, how the Legion was already ready there to kind of storm the court. Yeah. And it's a great way to end a game, especially at home, only winning by that one or two. I think it was 1 point that we won by. It's a pretty exciting ending, and to be honest with you, I watched that game just maybe a month ago, because I think I want to say someone had streamed it, or it was they just posted the game on Facebook, and it gives kind of chills, that last free throw just kind of ran out, and this is their best shooter on the team missing a key free throw to tie up the game, and it rims out. So it was a really exciting end into a great game, and then to see the Legion jump on the floor and have the flag and the Lion mascot and the team get out on the floor, and even some of the parents were out there. It was pretty. It was a nice situation. It was a great atmosphere.
Yeah. So we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, but normally we'd be playing AAU games, we'd be conditioning right now. What do you miss most about being around the team heading into what would normally be the preseason?
I'd say so we usually do the Johnson League, right? I think it was Tuesdays and Thursdays, the Johnson League. The Johnson head coach, the varsity boys head coach, is a good buddy of mine, and he always saves us a space, and we actually get to see some of the other teams that are in our league. Like I think last summer there was Grant in our league that was there, Burbank. Who else? I want to say River City. Yeah. What was that?
Oh no, I was saying River City, I think.
Yeah, I think River City was there, and then we also get to see some of the other schools. I think Intercom and some other schools that are around. But you get to kind of get an early view of what everyone's kind of looking like. And of course, everyone's not there, right? There's players that play football that wouldn't be there or just not there for any reason. But, I really like our chances. If we can get a season this year, I really like our chances to try to make some noise this year, some real noise. There's something to be said about players that have played at least a year or two together. You start establishing some roles. You start establishing a group of kids that just they know what they're supposed to do, and they start liking each other even that much more, and it becomes a cohesive unit. And once you get to that stage, it's pretty fun as a coach, because you're not really dealing with some of the the me's type stuff. You start being more of a cohesive group for that ultimate goal of trying to get better, right? So, yeah.
So just like being around us, just like seeing the chemistry growing together, you would say that's like kind of the best part. That, and then also, some of the practices.
I mean, I know it's usually hot during the summer, but some of the practices have been when you guys get out in scrimmage. I mean, that's always fun to see who's improved between February and May, June, because some of you guys go off and play AAU by yourselves, and then you guys come and play as a group with McClatchy. There's a lot of space for improvement in those few months. So just trying to see, I'm always asking, especially with this whole COVID thing. I haven't seen you guys. Yeah. I'm always asking, especially since it was a young group. I was asking hey, so have you got any taller? You got any bigger? Are you staying in the, not weight room because we can't go to the gym, but are you hitting the push-ups and getting stronger? I mean, you guys all are kind of in your growth spurts right now, so it's exciting.
Yeah. So you're also the teacher of the basketball class at McClatchy. What's your favorite part about just seeing kids getting to play every day, occasionally playing yourself? I remember from sophomore year.
That's the best part.
I know.
My favorite part of the basketball class is getting out on the court and seeing if I still have a little bit of anything. That's my favorite part. It's getting out. Every now and then we'll have players from the team that's a part of the class. We'll have players that play AAU and maybe not a part of the team. Players that they're the lunchtime basketball players that get out there. We have people that don't even start off by really liking the class. Starting the class, and then of course we separate the two levels. We have the competitive side and the non-competitive side, and just being able to see, maybe looking over and seeing the non-competitive side, getting involved and getting active, and they start one of the best parts of the class is actually seeing the growth. So what happens is, like I said, we separate competitive, non-competitive, and then as the year or the semester progresses, then some of those kids start moving over to the competitive side. And we've had, over the years, and I'm sure you remember, we've had kids that have come over and actually really made a statement over on the competitive side just from starting from the non-competitive side. You just kind of see that growth. I mean, within the course of a semester or two, it's nice to see.
Yeah. How's the class been for you doing this virtual thing? Because obviously it's a class where you kind of have to be there in person. So I mean, as of right now, I'm kind of running it, all the classes. So I teach freshman PE. I have 3 of those. And then I also have 3 basketball classes right now. And I kind of run them the same exact way. I mean, we're not really at a court, right? We're not in a gym. And so they usually have some of the same work. I'm having them do some fitness stuff right now, to where they're turning in videos of them doing workouts. We also have a daily log of activity that everyone's involved with and turning in at the end of the week. So it's just really different. But that's the kind of bitter part of it, because that's by far my favorite part of the day, that basketball class. My freshmen are fun, but the basketball class with the sophomores through seniors, it's just a different type of day for me, Yeah. So final question here. What led you to choose McClatchy, and as a coach, as a teacher, all that, and what's kept you here all of these years?
what got me here? Let's see. So I've been teaching McClatchy for maybe 11, 12 years maybe now. Prior to that, I was teaching out in the East Bay, a school called Rodriguez High School out in Fairfield. And I had just moved, I had just graduated college and everything, and moved out to Sacramento, and was looking for a teaching job. And back then, during those times, it was kind of tough because I was kind of during when the economy was kind of bad, but I was blessed to get a job, but it was out there. So for 2 years, I commuted from where I was living in Natomas out to Fairfield, which is like an hour commute. And so I did that for 2 years. That commute really just drained me. I was doing a little coaching out there, so having a school day and then doing some coaching afterwards and then driving back on that 80 just drained me. So, was applying for some positions out here and was blessed to get one. So McClatchy took me in, and it's just been a blessing to be here because that first year I was able to connect with Jeff, and I was his assistant from day one. And so just being able to have those two dynamics, being able to teach and then also coach right after, has really made it a good thing. I mean, it's time consuming, but I love the game of basketball. So, but the McClatchy community is something like no other community, and I think that with us trying to turn around the basketball program, and then football trying to turn around, I know we have some other successful programs around campus. We're pretty central, and so the only thing that we're missing is a field to try to get that whole football field feel. And I think we could really have some dynamic situations around here as far as the outside community coming in during sports and whatnot. So we have a field now, but now we just got to figure out some lighting and some bleachers, from what I'm hearing, as far as being able to do. So, but we'll see. It's a process. But I'm happy to be at McClatchy year in and year out. The biggest part for me is like some of the relationships, of course with my players, but then, I see old students around town and around, I live in Elk Grove now. Even out here, I see some old students, and just being able to reconnect and say, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? It's been a good situation.
Oh, so I forgot. I have one more question. So the finals are starting tomorrow at the time that we're filming this. Do you have any predictions? Heat, Lakers?
All right, so great question. I'm glad you asked. So I am a self-professed Laker hater, and so not to take too long an answer, but there was a time when I was a Kobe hater, God rest his soul, but I didn't really appreciate him. Until after he retired, because then I really started understanding his doggedness, and there's a reason why he was so, in a sense, sometimes egotistical and arrogant. And I'm more about like, get on the court, do your job, and just don't do all the extra, right? And he just kind of seemed, sometimes kind of selfish and just about him. And but I learned differently after he retired, right? And so anyway, I equated that to, Kobe hater, Lakers hater. Okay, so I've always been that way. And long story short, I'm a Clippers fan, right? I moved up to Northern California, and my wife and I, we went to some finals games back when they won, I think 2015. The Warriors won it.
Yeah.
And so I think there's this misconception that I'm a huge Warriors fan because I came to school and I brought some posters and stuff that were free in our seats and T-shirts. I was wearing them and it was free, right? So, but I'm actually really a Clippers fan. I'm from San Diego, the Clippers used to be in San Diego. And so Kawhi Leonard, especially when he came to the Clippers, he went to San Diego State. I love Kawhi's demeanor. He's just no extras. He just gets the job done and has a straight face, right? We were embarrassed some weeks ago, right? And so we're already out. So then, of course, I'm rooting for the Nuggets. Nuggets, take care of them. And then what happened? The Nuggets went out.
Yeah.
Right? And so now I'm hoping that the Heat, especially if they could beat Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is a coaching guru. I'm hoping that the Heat, especially with this young guy, the 20-year-old Hero, he's amazing from Kentucky. I'm hoping that they can upset the Lakers. And I'm saying, I'm not going to guarantee it like Charles Barkley, but I'm going to say the Heat in 7. Okay, but this is my prediction, right? If the Heat go down, or if they become even, they're going to lose the series. Meaning, I think that if the Lakers take that first game, they're going to lose. They have to have leverage. They have to be up or tied in order to win. But if the Lakers get rolling, I mean, how can you beat 3 7-footers and LeBron?
Yeah.
How can you beat, even what's his name? Starts with a C. Pope, Caldwell Pope.
Yeah.
He's been hitting lately. Rondo, of all people, he's been showing up. So it's gonna be tough, but it's gonna be a good series.
That's the thing. Like I like the young Heat. I like the energy. I like how Jimmy's getting another role now, later in his career. But I don't know. LeBron in the playoffs is something different. So I don't know.
LeBron is focused. I don't know if you watched that last game that they.
He just sat down.
He was sitting on the floor, and he was, basically his body language said, "This is not our final goal. Thank you. This is the Western Conference Championship trophy. Okay, great, but we're here for more." And so he's focused, and not only that, they kind of have the I don't know what you want to call it. They're kind of running on a motor that's kind of that they're I don't know how I want to phrase it, but they're basically, I heard them in one of their breaks. They said something about, I don't know, Kobe or Mamba or something. And so they're running off of that. And I mean, how awesome would it be for them to, in the year that Kobe passed, to bring his chip to LA? I mean, some powerful stuff.
Yeah. All right. Coach Greer, do you have any final words of wisdom, quote or anything you want to tell the people before we finish this up here?
Hey, I appreciate you in the interview. Let's see, with all things that's going on, one quote that kind of stands out with all the things that's going on, with of course the COVID thing, and then some of the social injustice stuff. The thing that kind of stands out that I would give to anyone right now is some that'd be uplifting is, I don't know if you've seen that one Rocky movie where Rocky is older. I don't know if it's maybe the 5th one or maybe, there's so many of them.
Yeah, it's one of the middle ones.
He's talking to his son, and he says it's not how many times you get hit, it's how many times it's about how hard you can get hit and get back up. And that's a powerful statement. It's a really powerful statement. We have a lot of things going on in this country, and I think if we just come together as a strong unit, we're going to end up making it out all right. And that's the social injustice stuff, that's the COVID stuff, that's all of it. But we got to be one unit.
We got to move together.
Move together.
All right. Thank you for Coach Greer for coming on during his lunch break, of all things, coming on, talking with us about basketball and life and the finals. We'll see how those predictions are. I think the finals will be done by the time this is up, probably.
I didn't ask you. I'm sorry. Who do you think's going to get it?
I think it's, I don't know. I'm hoping Heat. I think Lakers are going to get it, but I think it's going to go to at least 6 or 7. Like, I don't think it's going to be in like 4, like some people are saying. So
Yeah, I don't think if they couldn't sweep the Nuggets, they're a strong team.
Yeah.
They beat a really good Celtics team, and so
I just think it's going to be interesting no matter what. Like, it's going to be a good series.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you, Coach, for coming on. I had a great time. It was good to see you again after like 6 months since the season or whatever.
You see, I got the grandpa
I know, you
hair
have the
going
beard
on.
now.
You guys have never seen me with this amount of hair on my head.
I know. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach, for coming on. I had a great time. Hopefully you did too. And come back next week, everybody, for the next one. Thank you.